Whoop. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
With me.
I'm trying to get this thing shared and it's not working out too well. Let's see. Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
maybe I'll just tag you.
Actually, there we go. Um, I'm trying here real. Well, shoot, it's not working. There.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
Let's see. Well, it's all right. Yeah, just
I'll
tag
just,
me. That'll be better.
I'll
That way
just
I don't
tag
have to
you.
worry about messing with it.
Technology, I tell you.
Yeah, it's a pain sometimes.
Anyhow, I got a question from the comments. Says, what's the topic tonight? I guess we're gonna hit a lot of stuff. I always try to come up with, like 6 to 10 different topic ideas.
Yep,
So,
I'm all in. So whatever you got planned, let's do her.
okay, so I got to throw it to you here. I'm going to say, welcome to the Adam and Friends show. Today I'm talking to my friend and also my uncle, Edward. Ed is a fan of classic rock music, horror movies, professional wrestling, and video games, and I think kitchen gadgets too. You do some YouTube videos with kitchen gadgets,
Yes, I do.
the Ninja and the pressure
Uh,
cookers and all kinds of
got
stuff
the
like
Ninja
that.
Cookie, which I highly recommend if anybody wants a pressure cooker and an air fryer. It's kind of like combined, so you just put on the different bits.
I
And it's
did see some stuff you were making with that. It looked pretty good.
yeah, I made pizza pasta is really good in that.
Cool. Okay, so first topic here. You were down in what was it, Myrtle Beach or something?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. So it was like, was it North Myrtle Beach or just one of the beaches up there or something?
I was actually, let's see, because Myrtle Beach is in South Carolina, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was,
Is part of Myrtle Beach in North Carolina though? I can't remember for sure. I'm not gonna
I don't,
pull up a map
I
right
don't
now,
think
but
so. Yeah,
I've
I
only
don't.
been to South Carolina for it.
I was up in Wilmington, which is, a little ways up. Because when I flew down there, I was in Ric Flair country. Because I had to stop over and then switch planes and then go up to
Yeah.
Wilmington.
So how'd you like Myrtle Beach or North Carolina's beaches anyhow?
Um, they were really nice, but the funny thing is when I decided I was going to come home early because of all this other stuff, which we might get into, I don't know, but uh, we went to the beach on Wednesday and on Thursday they shut them down.
Yeah, it's sad to see.
Yeah,
But
but
they got to do what they got to do to keep people safe.
yeah, but when I was there and I did my Facebook Live video, it was, I mean, there weren't people even within 600 feet. So I mean, but I guess they just want to prevent. But
While they're encouraging people to get outdoors for a lot of other stuff, so I'm surprised that that's not allowed in some capacity, just keeping 6 feet apart.
well, if you look at Miami, you can like down that way, you can understand why they probably are shutting them
Yeah.
down.
So what made you want to come back early then?
Um, a lot of the stuff that that's been going on, like with the well, I guess you want to call it a pandemic.
You
Uh,
kind of didn't want to get stuck down there. You wanted to be back at home then.
yeah, I figured I probably should get back, just just in case, and it's a good thing I did, but because it was crazy flying home. Because when I left on Thursday, I flew from Wilmington to Philadelphia, and when I got in and flying from Wilmington to Philadelphia, there was myself and two other passengers on the plane.
Uh huh.
On this, I mean, it was a small jet. I'm almost 6 foot, and I couldn't stand up in it all the way, but still, And then when I got to Philadelphia, because it's a big airport, I don't know if you've ever been there or not. Can you see
No,
me?
I've been to Pittsburgh's, but not Philadelphia's.
Well, Philadelphia Airport's pretty good size. I had to take a shuttle to go from my gate that I came in on to get to the gate to come back to Columbus. And it was like a ghost town in there. All the businesses were closing and there wasn't hardly anybody there. And then when I caught the plane to come from Philadelphia, it was a bigger jet, but there's only one other passenger.
Hmm.
So,
But other than that, everything went okay as far as getting back home and stuff.
well, it went pretty, it was pretty much okay. I wasn't really thrilled about the TSA's, um, how can I put this, but
They're what?
their body exam, like how
Oh,
they
okay.
send you through security and all that.
You hiding
It,
some drugs somewhere or something?
no, but then if I was, they would have found it. Let's put it that way. Oh, I'm trying to think of the correct word I could use here, but it was that thorough. There we go.
They were all up in your social space.
Yeah, there you go.
So what's Columbus like right now this week or this past
uh,
weekend? Have you seen much of the town? Like, is it emptied out in the
and
streets for the most part?
somewhat, but a lot of people aren't listening. I don't know if it's just because it's here in Columbus or all over the state, and that's why we're where we're at now. But I did manage to get up. I went Saturday morning, or was it Friday morning? Saturday morning. I went to Kroger, and it was interesting shopping there. A lot of people were, I mean, I got there at 8 in the morning, and a lot of the shelves were already pretty much cleared out. But I did manage to find a lot of stuff, witnessed a fight,
A
and some of
fight?
that. Yeah, there was two women. I don't know what they were fighting over. I was in line to check out, and there was two women. I mean, it was kind of like watching, AEW. It's pretty, two women going at it, and I don't know what they were fighting over, but the Kroger employees tried to break them up, and words were exchanged. So they called the police, and the police came. So neither one of them got whatever they were fighting over.
Oh, well, that's, I don't know. If it was Black Friday, it's entertaining, but in this day and age, it's kind of scary, I guess.
Well, I mean, you don't know these days. One of them could have pulled out a gun, or something, but it turned out okay, I guess. Not so much for them, but for everybody else. But I mean, and I noticed that a lot of the grocery stores like Kroger, they're starting to limit things, like fresh meats. You're allowed to buy 3 packs of fresh meats, for example. And I didn't know that. I didn't see the sign. I just went and I picked up 4 packs of meat. I picked up 3 big packs of hamburger and a pack of chicken. And that's all they pretty much had. They didn't have, any pork or anything. So I just snagged them up. And when I got up there, and she goes, you're only allowed to have 3 packs. I said, oh, well, I didn't see the sign. And I apologized. And I said, go ahead and just take one of the packs of hamburger out. And she said, man, just don't worry about it. And rang it up. So, but
I noticed the same thing, but I've only done the online shopping where you drive up and then they put it in your car.
oh,
Because I was trying to get, yeah, the curbside thing.
uh-huh.
I was trying to get some things from Walmart, and they had really limited stock online, and they limited you to just two things. Now Kroger, I ended up going through Kroger, and they had like I added three chicken like packages of chicken
Uh-huh.
to my cart, and but when I got there, they only gave me two, and there's a bunch of like cleaning supplies and stuff they're super short on, so I didn't get anything. I was trying to get like some disinfectant wipes and stuff like that, but they didn't have any of that. Even garbage bags.
Crazy I mean, like the hand sanitizer and stuff, people are just gobbling it up and hoarding it, and I think there were some people on Amazon that tried selling toilet paper really high and they got busted for it. So,
Oh, what was that? I saw something. A guy and his daughter were breaking down on the internet. Like if you hoarded 4 big old packs of toilet paper, you'd have to crap like 185 times a day to use it all up within 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, well, I guess I never really did the math on that.
I
I never.
I didn't either. It was a video that was going around on Facebook, but people.
I mean,
What
I
I'm saying
made
is,
some
people are probably buying a lot more than they need for no reason.
I made some fun. I mean, I'm not making, it's not really cool to make fun of the coronavirus, but I've taken some cheap shots at some of the, like the toilet paper. I don't know if you saw the one that I put up there where it has Fred from Scooby Doo, and
No,
he
I
goes,
didn't. I'll have to look.
you know how they, like in the old Scooby Doo cartoons, Fred would go up and now let's see who's really behind it. He would act like he was going to grab the mask. Well,
Uh-huh.
it showed him, and he goes, "Now let's see who's really behind the coronavirus." And he lifted up the mask, and it was the one toilet paper teddy bear thing. It was him. You know, and a lot of people really like it. So I mean, as long as people like it, I will continue doing stuff. But if a lot of people would have complained, said, "Man, that's just not right. That's not cool," I would have stopped. But
I don't. No, I don't get offended by any kind of toilet paper stuff. I mean, you got to have some kind of sense of humor in all this. I
yeah,
mean,
that's
people
my sentiments
people need
exactly.
that.
That's my sentiments exactly. I mean, I put up this thing where it said something about I took 4 beers and put them in each room of my house, and later tonight I'm gonna go bar hopping, because of that. So
Yeah,
I mean,
there we go.
I do crazy things like that. I think it adds humor and it's a little fun. But like I said, if people would have really, if I'd have really gotten a lot of slack over it, I probably would have just stopped.
Yeah.
But but you gotta try to add a little. I mean, I know it's a serious situation and stuff, but man, who could help but not make fun of toilet paper?
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so
That's yeah, it's something to laugh about at least. I don't think too many people are going to get too worked up about that.
well, most people won't, but some people might. So,
So there's a lot of recipe hacks and stuff like that going on while people are quarantining themselves. Do you have any good recipes for while you're in quarantine?
are you talking about food wise, or are you talking about like things
Yeah,
to do?
yeah, food wise first, I guess.
Oh, um, well, in a situation like this, I would think that you could really get inventive, and uh, I guess I really don't have any, that I think of. I mean, I guess it
Okay.
just depends on what kind of groceries you can get.
For example, I was like, I think a good thing to have would be tortilla shells. So I picked up like a couple packs of tortilla shells, and then one day I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of hungry for something different. What can I do with tortilla shells? And we have a lot of stuff. We're not starving or anything like that, but I was trying to get inventive with them. And I was like, well, I'm going to put them in a skillet, like with some butter. And then I put cinnamon sugar on them and made like these cinnamon sugar tortilla chips. And they
Oh,
were, they were like really good.
well, if you really want to do something, if you had the corn tortilla chip, not the but the tortilla shells, like the
These were
flour.
the flour ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you get the ones that are made of corn, if you cut them just right and put them in a lasagna pan, you can make a Mexican lasagna with them. Get your
Yeah, I've seen
ground.
stuff like that. That'd be pretty good.
It is good, and it makes it's really good. So I mean, I've taken things and combined them before, and they wind up being really good. So uh, and that pizza pasta recipe, actually, that's a good recipe. And if you have like my ninja, you only need one pot. But if you want to cook it on the stove, because like that, I don't have to use a separate pan to ground my ground beef and sausage, marinade, or not marinade, but saute some onions, You drain the grease, then you just put in the dry pasta and the sauce and a little bit of water, just enough to cover it, and you pressure cook it for about 5 minutes, and then you just take the lid, pull it back, put on your cheese and pepperoni, put the air fryer lid down, cook another 5 minutes, and it's done. It's delicious.
Now I don't have a pressure cooker, but I do have like one of those really high speed blenders. I have the Vitamix.
Oh wow!
And you had that one once, didn't you?
Yeah, and I had to send it back because it was one of them. It was about what was it, a year or two? At least a year ago, I guess. They had sent out an email to me because I bought one a few years back, and mine was one of them that was being recalled. So I sent it back, and they said, "Well, we'll give you $50 off on another Vitamix." I said, "Nah." I went and got a Ninja, and it does everything the Vitamix does, and it's about $300 cheaper.
Yeah, I got mine through somebody through a sale, and it's I like the Vitamix so far, but I've found that works pretty well if you want to like stay healthy to do a smoothie, or
Yeah.
you can make
I
margaritas in them pretty well and stuff.
Now, have you ever tried making homemade peanut butter in that?
I have not. No.
Well,
Does
you got
that work okay?
yeah, it works great. I was gonna call it the plunger, but I was back on toilet paper again. Um, the tamper, like where you
Yeah.
push it like this. Well, you put whatever nuts you want in there, whether they're peanuts, you can mix, or you could just do like all peanuts and turn it on, and you use that tamper to mash it down, and it makes homemade peanut butter. Really good. It's really good to eat hot, warm, because
Okay.
yeah, it's really good.
Hmm.
But it's kind of expensive though to buy regular, like peanuts and put in there. I mean, you're probably cheaper off to buy the peanut butter, but it's good once
Unless
in a
you
while.
got some kind of like big giant bag
Yeah,
or something like that.
something that you want to get rid of, just throw them in there and make some homemade peanut butter or cashew butter or whatever.
Yeah. Or you can get raw sunflower seeds for pretty cheap and make something that way.
Yeah,
Make sunflower butter. I did try I did try to make hot soup in it, and it turned out, but it kind of scared me at first because it said you got to do it for 6 minutes on high. So I did it, and like right before the 6 minutes was up, it shut off on its own, and um, it didn't cause any problems. But I guess it's got some kind of heat sensor that shuts it off if it feels like it's getting too hot. So maybe I didn't have enough wet ingredients in it. But have you ever made hot soup in your Ninja?
yeah, I made chicken tortilla soup. But
Oh,
see, I didn't leave it run for the 6 minutes. Well, technically I did, but I ran it for about um, 5.5 minutes, and then I stopped it. And of course, you got to cook your chicken or whatever before you put in there. So
yeah.
I took big chunks of chicken and I put in there, and then how it has that pulse button. You just hit the pulse button just enough to chop up the chicken, and oh man, that stuff was good.
Hmm.
So if you want to, just remember, if you want to, like make a chicken tortilla soup, don't put the chicken in there and let it go because you'll have chicken juice. But
Yeah.
you just save that for last, and when it's almost done, then you just stop it and throw in your big chunks of meat, and then you just pulse it a few times to where it's to your consistency, and you're good.
Yep. So
So,
on to another subject here. Are you watching any pro wrestling while you're
um,
in stay at home mode?
well, I watch older ones. And I'll tell you why. Because I tried watching, okay, last week, for example, on Raw, they had, Austin 316 Day. And did you watch that?
I just watched the clip on YouTube where they had Stone Cold come out, and what was it, Byron
Yeah,
with
Byron
holding up
Saxton.
signs, and he got the stunner, and
So
then
did the,
Becky Lynch comes out and they drink beers together and stuff like that.
yeah, but then what's that new tag team? Oh boy. it's almost kind of like a new modern day Spirit Squad, and I can't think of what um they're the
Tag
tag
team.
yeah, they're the tag team champions on WWE Monday Night Raw now, and
Oh my god, I'm not paying enough attention to wrestling if I don't know who the tag team champions are right now.
well, they're kind of, they came up from NXT and they were doing these promos for a while, and then somehow they managed to win the titles. I don't think they'll hold them that long, but I can't think of what the names are. But
Uh,
I
okay. Is it the Street Profits? Are you talking about
that's
them?
it. That's it. Street Profits. There you go. You
Oh,
got
okay.
it.
We want the smoke. That's what they.
Yeah. But I mean,
What kind of smoke are they talking about there?
I watched that, and did you notice, like, when Stone Cold gave Byron this, the stunner, and the Street Profits, he gave them the stunner, and man, you could just hear, I mean, it was just really weird. I just really don't like watching, wrestling without the audience. I mean, it's kind of like watching a half a movie or something. I don't know. It's just that's why I'm not really thrilled about WrestleMania this year, because they're going to do it at the Performance Center, and they're going to have Saturday night and Sunday. And I just can't picture watching the dead, good old Undertaker come out with all the smoke and the flames, and there's nobody there to enjoy it. I don't know. It's just kind of
Well, I
hard.
mean, it's like an interesting thing though that this is what they're doing, or this is what it's going to come to. I think I almost want to watch it just to see how they pull it off or try to pull it off.
Well, AJ Styles versus the Undertaker. That
I mean, hopefully that's a hell of a match.
Yeah, I think I I don't know. I'm kind of differ on that. I kind of wish in a way that they would have almost postponed it till when things, like when the dust clears, because and then they could have put it with SummerSlam and called it SummerMania or something. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I might watch it just to watch it and see what it's
Were,
going to be like.
were
But
you the one that was sending me the rumors on them trying to move the date?
yeah, actually, what it was is, when all this stuff started about 2 or 3 weeks ago, because it's going to be in Miami, right? I think that's where it is, Miami.
I think so.
And um, they wanted McMahon to close it, to cancel. And he's, you know, he doesn't want to cancel because, he's going to be cut a lot of money and something about the insurance.
Yeah.
So they said, finally, they told him, they said, well, we'll give you a week. If you don't cancel it, we will. And so I guess he checked into his insurance policy, and they said, well, I guess the insurance policy said that if you try to put it in another venue and it doesn't work there, then, I guess. But so he moved it to where did I say,
Performance
WrestleMania?
Center.
Yeah, the Performance Center. I couldn't think. Thank you. And I guess he just decided to go ahead and have it. But did you hear that at one time he was actually thinking about selling WrestleMania?
I don't understand, like just selling the name WrestleMania, like sell it to Fox or something.
What he wanted to do is he wanted to actually sell the whole thing, WrestleMania, to Fox, and then they would air that on the network, on like on Fox TV, or their network or whatever, same place where SmackDown is.
Yeah,
And
that'd
but
be giving up a lot of history there.
yeah, well, I mean, I could imagine watching WrestleMania. We'll be right back, and then you see a Pampers commercial or something.
Yeah.
I don't think I would. I'm kind of glad he didn't do that, but I really do. I mean, I'll watch it maybe just, for the heck of it and see. But, you know, I don't know if you've ever watched Monday Night Raw, the Monday night right after WrestleMania. Oh my gosh, the audience just gets into it so much, and they start
Oh yeah.
chanting. beach ball, and they start throwing all that stuff is gonna be gone. We're not
Yeah.
gonna be able to do that this year. And it's like, that's in the audience, they always seem to turn on the good guys and like the bad guys. I mean, all that stuff is just like when Hogan and Rock wrestled. When Hogan came and he was part of when they brought NWO to WWE. And I mean, everybody thought The Rock was going to be, he was the baby face and Hogan was the bad guy. And during that whole match, it was just Hogan, Hogan, and I mean, it's
Yeah.
the audience. That's what really gets you into it, and um,
Well, without the audience there, they can put in a bunch of fake cheers for Roman Reigns.
well, actually, I noticed that ever since he came back from his cancer, he doesn't get to do that when they cheer him. But man, before he left, I mean, no matter what he would do, the standard in the audience, they boo, they booed him. No matter, that's how I became a big fan of Braun Strowman, because when he and Braun were feuding, and Braun, I mean, that guy's huge. He could move for a big guy. And, and I always laugh because, like, when he beat the crap out of Roman Reigns and threw him in, and they put him in the ambulance, and it was just getting ready to fall out, and Braun goes, I'm not finished with you yet. And I mean, he just darted over and went in the ambulance and pulled him out while he was on the stretcher and threw him down the steps. It's like, man, I like this guy, so I'm a big Braun fan.
Did you watch any of the AEW stuff from last week? They had a closed arena show.
No, I was in North Carolina, and I didn't get to watch it. So,
well, you should watch theirs on replay because they actually seem to do a better job than what WWE did.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think I actually liked AEW better than WWE.
Well, I like theirs. They had like, maybe like 5 other wrestlers out in the crowd cheering it on, and they also had a lot of surprises that night too.
Jake the Snake.
WWE was just kind of like the same old stuff, but just with nobody there. But with AEW, they were doing a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I like AEW because it's nostalgic. You get to hear Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone. I mean, I just, that was one reason why. I mean, I loved WCW back in the day. Like when Scott Hall came to invade, NWO and all that stuff. And this stuff is really good stuff. And when Hogan first came, he was the baby face. I'm like, WWF all over again. Hogan, saying the prayers, drinking the milk, or taking the vitamins, or whatever, Hulkamania did. And
I always like that.
Huh?
I was a big Hogan fan. I like that stuff.
Well, I did, but I'm the type of person where if somebody is a good guy for quite a while, I want to see him turn heel. And the best day, and my favorite all-time WCW event was Bash at the Beach when Hogan came out and they said, "Oh, Hulk Hogan's here," and he went in and just the crap out of Sting and Macho Man and stuff like that, and people were throwing trash in the ring, and it's like, now this is the Hogan I want to see, and so I'm a little different, I guess.
Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff. That was kind of like right when I was starting to get into wrestling.
Oh yeah.
But I think I have you to blame for that.
Oh, okay. Well, blame me then. What the heck?
Okay. Because it'd be like, oh, he's watching that wrestling crap again, and then it was after a while, it was like, oh, this is pretty neat. These guys are coming there and throwing Rey Mysterio up against the side of a van, and
it spiked him like a yard dart, man. That was cool as heck. Just Big Daddy Cool Diesel picked Kevin Nash there. But he just picked up Ray and just spiked him into the side of the trailer like a yard dart. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. So and you were always excited about gee, I wonder who's going to join NWO next, or I kept hoping somebody else would get spiked through the trailer like that, but nobody else did. Just poor Ray Ray. So, but that was good.
That's
I like.
why AEW. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but do you know who the wrestlers are that joined AEW last week?
I would probably say the Ascension, but
No,
or
no. You didn't
nobody.
see any spoilers or anything on it?
No.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you got to watch AEW. There's a couple WWE guys that came over. So there was 2 debuts, and it was pretty cool.
Oh.
You know how they've been building up the who's the guys in the gimp masks?
Oh, the
The
Dark
Dark
Order.
Order. They've
Yeah.
been building up that they have somebody new coming in, their leader.
Yeah.
So they show who that is last week.
Well, I know Jeff Hardy came back, but he didn't join the Dark Order. He's
No,
siding with.
he's still under contract with WWE as far as I know.
No, he made his debut a couple weeks ago. It was when they still had an audience,
Oh, okay.
because Chris Jericho came out and was running his mouth, and then all of a sudden you heard this. You saw this little drone fly down and it landed in the ring, and all of a sudden Matt Hardy was up on the
Oh, yeah, you're
stand.
talking about the same debut I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And he was doing that delete, delete, delete stuff. So
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing this week.
yeah. Well, you might as well just go ahead and tell me who, because I don't know if I'll be able to watch it or not. I don't know if I'll.
It was that Luke Harper came out
Oh,
and joined the Dark Order.
oh well. I mean, he would be good at that because with him being with the Wyatt family and stuff.
And then yeah, Matt Hardy's the other one.
Yep. And it's funny, Matt is in AEW and Jeff is in WWE. But Renee Young, she's in WWE, and uh, Ambrose, whatever I want to call him in AEW. He's in
John
AEW.
Moxley.
John Moxley, yeah. So
Yeah.
he's in AEW. So
Yeah, it's still not a huge company yet, but it is getting interesting at least.
yeah, I mean, they've been kind of kicking tail on Wednesday nights though, as far as going up against NXT. They pretty
Yeah.
much dominated the ratings and stuff. So, but there you go. There's my AEW impressions. I like it. I actually do like it better. I mean, I like to see if AJ Styles, maybe he ought to think about going there because WWE isn't really doing much with him right now.
He kind of laid out his plan on podcasts that I listened to before is, his back's kind of hurting. He's been wrestling a long time, and his goal probably ultimately is just to retire from the ring and be teaching down the performance center or something.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe he'll, he and the Undertaker and the Undertaker, he's what, 50?
I don't know. I'm sure the internet can tell me that really quick.
Oh, let's see, computer. How old is the Undertaker?
The Undertaker is 55 years old.
He's 55.
Wow, 55, stay alive.
Yeah. So, he's getting up there. This will probably end up being, well, of course, they always say that. Last year they made it seem like, was it last year when he laid his hat in the middle of the ring and his coat or whatever? And
I think that was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Or was it last year? I don't. It seems like that was a couple of years ago, and then he came back and had another match, and then people were like, well, this takes the steam out of his almost retirement from the previous year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it kind of didn't make sense.
But
now he's kind of back as almost like a American Badass look.
Oh.
He had like a beanie on, and he was just kind of all in black. showing off
Yeah,
the tattoos
the
and
American
stuff.
Badass, he always had that denim jacket on. He'd
Yeah,
wear,
it wasn't quite that look, but it was like it was more of a biker look than a dead man look to me.
oh,
I
when
mean,
he
it's not
got,
like he came down in a motorcycle or anything, but um, he just kind of had a different look about him. I can't find
yeah,
much online about it, but
I think, and Kofi Kingston, man, bless his heart. I mean, he had the title. There was that Kofi Mania, and then Brock
yeah,
Lesnar just wiped up the mat with him in a matter of a minute or so. A few suplexes, and he was gone. But I think they haven't done anything with it. So
yeah.
now
They
there's
just
rumors.
have too many people. It seems like there's a lot of people they don't do anything with.
Yeah, a lot of them are getting frustrated, and there's a lot of them now that aren't showing up to work because of this coronavirus. So,
Yeah, like isn't Braun Strowman one of them?
he
That he
no,
just
he's too busy getting into Twitter wars with who did he get into a Twitter war with? And
I don't know.
I can't remember now,
I
but
just knew he wasn't on TV lately.
yeah, I know they're not really doing. He had the Intercontinental Championship for just what about 2 weeks, and then he dropped it or whatever. But um, so
Braun
now,
Strowman getting in a heated Twitter argument with Lance Archer, an AEW wrestler, maybe.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So and then some of the fans have been getting kind of on the Braun. I don't know what all he wrote, but it's oh well. But I just think that I really do. I don't know if I'll try watching it, but I don't enjoy watching WrestleMania because I really do, like watching the interaction of the fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see.
I don't know. I just want to see what they come up with. I bet they end up moving it ultimately, moving the date, but still be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if we'll even have a SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah. Well, isn't that usually August?
That's usually August, but
Don't you
you
think
know,
we'd be in good shape by then?
uh, I don't know. It it really depends upon a lot of things. One of them is whether people want to actually do what they're told and stay put. I know it really sucks, but that's the one thing that I would if I were to ever give advice to anybody about any of that, and I would say don't panic over it, but take it seriously. And if they tell you to stay home, stay home. Only go out to the grocery store. If you have like three things you want to do that week, they say try to plan them all on the same day so you get out just one day and then you can get it all done and then go back. So
Yeah.
we'll see by because I'm president of my school's alumni association, and I had sent out the letters for the reunion, our reunion, which is going to be in June. And of course, I had sent the letters out, like before the pandemic began or whatever. And I got a few, I put the letter up on our website, and then I also put a statement. I said, it doesn't cost anything to reserve your room. So go ahead and reserve your room, and I'll let everybody know on May 15th or not. And
Yeah.
well, I think you got to cancel. And I said, well, I think, you're jumping the gun. Just relax and we'll wait and see what happens I mean, because maybe by May it might be cleared up. But right now we're still going in the wrong direction. We're kind of going up like this.
Yeah, I think the hopes are that this adheres to standard flu routines and lightens up in the hotter months. But
Well,
I mean, I'm not a scientist on this, and I think a lot of the people who are don't really know yet
no,
what it's going to be.
because I mean, obviously in Florida where, uh, you know, it hasn't started going down there yet. I think it'll start maybe going down and maybe in a few weeks, once more people start getting test kits. Right now, it's really going up because test kits. I gotta really be really careful how I say that. Test kits. Right now, where they're starting to become more available. So yeah, it's starting to go up. But eventually, hopefully, if people are really listening, it's going to level off and then it's going to start going down. So let's just
And
hope that's the case.
I know I am. I go out as little as possible. I probably only go out like once every few days. I'm living by Walking Dead rules, you know?
Yeah,
You don't want to be the people that go out and explore and then get bit. I'm not into that.
exactly. Well, when I was in North Carolina and all, and word of this pandemic had started getting around, because North Carolina, when I was there, they didn't really have that many cases. They were all up in Raleigh. And I was in Wilmington and there was no cases. And on the day that I left, they got the first case of the
Yeah.
corona. But when I was in Walmart, there was these, well, I'll just be nice. There were these two women and they were talking back and forth and they were going, they were saying, oh my, I wonder, with this pandemic, I wonder how soon the zombies are going to be around. And I thought, well, let's see. If they are coming, you're not going to have anything to worry about because they like to eat brains. And obviously, you're kind of black. I mean, they were serious. They were wondering if we were going to have a zombie apocalypse. And it's like, okay, no more 9 o'clock Sunday night AMC for you. You've had enough of The Walking Dead,
Oh, okay,
And
so if you could compare this to some kind of apocalypse movie, what would you compare it to?
The Stand, minus the devil.
I don't know. The devil might be in the details here.
Well, yeah, you got a point there. You got a point. I mean, churches are closing and all this stuff. I would probably, and because the Stand, I mean, you've seen it, right?
I've
Obviously.
seen it, but it was probably like 20 years ago. So
Well, remember at the very beginning of the movie where they were in that,
I'm a big
uh,
Stephen King fan, though.
you're what?
I am a Stephen King fan, though.
Yeah, I am too. Uh, but at the beginning of the Stand, they were in that military institute, and all of a sudden, the siren started going off, and that one guy managed to escape. He's been infected, and that's how the rest of the country got infected. He managed to get away, and depending upon who you listen to, some people saying that this is man-made. Other people are saying it came from bats, and I always say, you know what? Let's let them figure out where it came from, and then that. But does it really matter where it came from? I guess. I mean, if it's that, I don't know. It's really hard telling
No.
where this came from.
At this point, the cat's out of the bag already, so we
Well, the
just got to
bat.
deal with the bat's out of the bag, the
Yeah,
pangolin's out of the bag, whatever it is.
yeah. So I mean, it's just. But oh well, I know we're not going to really get into politics and stuff like that, which is cool with me. But the only thing I can say is thank goodness our borders were closed off to China a little bit, sooner. Because Italy never closed theirs off. And look at, I mean, I
Yeah,
feel sorry for people in Italy. I mean, they're dying by the hundreds a day and stuff like that, and it's terrible.
yeah,
So I guess we could be thankful that our borders, our um, flights and all that stuff were closed off to China back in mid-January, or
yeah,
we'd be singing a different tune now.
yeah.
Already, there's been 6, confirmed deaths here in Ohio from this, and we have 400 and I think it's 442 cases. Now, yesterday it went up 100. It went from 250 to 350. Now we're at 240 or 443. So
Yeah,
and that's still a lot.
yeah. So
But
yeah, I can't really say the way this thing goes. Hopefully it doesn't get too high in its peak, and hopefully we come back from this pretty strong.
well, I mean, the the worst. I mean, the place that's really bad here in the United States, obviously, is New York.
Yeah, in
You know,
California.
a lot there,
Not
and
a
you know,
lot of people.
they, you know, so we could be worse.
Yeah.
You know,
We're kind of distanced from that, and it seems like our governor is taking a lot of good steps.
yeah. I mean, I really do. I like Governor DeWine. He, I mean, he's he'll tell it like it is. I mean, he'll say, either you start listening and stay in, or more of us are going to die. And that's why he did the order, and he's been doing it in small steps. And he would close this one day, and then another day he would close something else and start restricting this and start restricting that. And I told people, I said, I know what's coming. He's eventually going to make it a
Yeah.
and and that's what he did. But if he would have, got on TV like 2 or 3 days after all this stuff started, and if he would have said, "Okay, we're going homebound," people would have panicked.
Right.
I mean, look what they did with the toilet paper, for Pete's sake. I mean,
Oh yeah, you would have had people by the thousands just invading Walmart probably.
well, that, and I mean, so the only thing I'm going to say about this whole thing is, don't listen to, if somebody comes up and says, I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another friend. No, I'm not doing an REO Speedwagon song. I mean,
Heard it from a friend.
friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another, but you can't listen to stuff like that, and don't overdo it on the media. If anybody really wants to know what's going on, watch your governor, your local governor. I don't know if there's people out of state that are watching this or not, but if not, tune in to Wine. If you're here in Ohio, he does a report, and I can even give the website if people wanted to check it out, and it updates every day at 2 o'clock. It's
Yeah, coronavirus.ohio.org. Is
yeah,
that's the website they're
it's
plugging?
I think it's .gov. It's Ohio.
Oh, .gov. Yeah.
Yeah, coronavirus.ohio.gov.
Yeah.
And they update it every day at 2 o'clock if you don't even really want to sit down and watch. But he will do updates, like yesterday when he decided he was going to make this homebound, and and stuff like that. But now it's like Florida, they're really going to extremes to where if you fly in from New York, like to Florida, you got to self quarantine yourself for 14 days. They will get you when you come off the plane, and make you quarantine yourself or whatever. So, which you got to do, because the governor of Florida has corona.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I kind
So
of just been paying attention to mostly to our little bubble, I guess. I hear a little bit about the other states and stuff like that, but
yeah, I mean, the best thing is, really pay attention to what's going on around you. And if you want to hear a little bit what's going on, what I mean? Because I'm hoping eventually, like New York or Washington, maybe they're going to start, going in the right direction here pretty soon. So let's just hope so.
yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Yes, it is. And it's, the funny thing is, there was a lot of people are not outdoorsy like they were, like even when I was younger, or maybe even you or whatever, because you're a bit younger than I am. But, I just remember my mom used to say, go outside and play in traffic. Of course, I never did that, but, you know, or she would say,
I can
go
picture her
outside.
saying that.
Yeah, or she'd say, go outside and don't come home till the street lights come on. And if I said, but mom, what if I don't see the street lights come on? And she'd say, they hum, don't they? If you don't see them, you will hear them. I mean, you remember my
Yeah,
mom. So,
yeah, I know,
but
Granny.
yeah, but these days, people don't want to really get outside. But then as soon as they're told not to go out, now they want to go out and contaminate. Just doesn't make sense. But
Yeah,
um, so just I mean, don't obsess about it, and just if believe your local governor, listen to your local governor and go by that. Don't go by what somebody else tells you and stuff like that. Ruth, bless her heart, because she'll get all these texts because like her one daughter is a germophobic. I mean, if you go up and touch her refrigerator, man, she'll be there and wipe it down. And, they keep getting things from other people like, I heard this, I heard that. I keep trying to tell them, it's like, don't listen to that. Just, you're going to get yourself into a panic. You can have a heart attack or something. But, just listen to the news source, listen to your governor or whatever and be done with it. Don't because you remember 9/11 when that happened.
Oh,
there were people that watched that for days on end because, I mean, it was just nonstop and people were getting depressed and, they were overdoing the media. So, don't, just watch a little bit of it and turn it off and read a book. Just don't read apocalyptic books.
It kind of goes in highs and lows. I have like, where I'm feeling pretty comfortable, I'm feeling pretty relaxed, and then another day I'll be like, oh, this sucks. This is just the shits,
I mean, it'll really, to me, I mean, it's okay right now because pretty much it's going to rain here every day this week, and we're supposed to have, more flooding rains this weekend. So, it won't be that bad, but when it gets to be about 75, 80 out, I mean, you could still get outside. Just don't go, don't go mingle with with the other people. Keep your 6 feet apart, and stuff like that. Whatever they tell you to do, and just get out and go for a walk. You can still do that. Just be cautious. And stuff.
So what kind of things are you getting into to keep entertained and stuff like that?
Right now I do I do read some books, and I will watch some stuff. But to
Now,
me,
for books, are you a iPad guy, an e-reader guy, an audiobook guy, or what?
I'm an Audible. Because I'm only working on one eye right now, basically. And and that's being postponed. I got a call today, and my eye doctor appointment that I was supposed to have in in the middle or toward the end of April has been postponed until further notice.
Yeah, that's kind of hard for people too. I know other people that have other things going on that are getting postponed that they may end up needing, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, I'm okay. I mean, the only thing I got to do is I'll eventually have to have the bubble taken off. But it's there, and it'll be there. They'll eventually get it off. But I'm not gonna, dwell over it. I mean, you really can't. You just gotta find things to do. I see PlayStation Network has a lot of games. They have that fishing game on sale, and I thought about buying it.
Oh yeah.
That fishing simulator or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Remember that one we used to play for PlayStation 1, and you used to
I forget what it was. It like real fishing or something like that?
Yeah, because you'd be out there and it'd be thundering and lightning and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I wish that game would do that. I love stuff like that.
I just kind of do that in Red Dead Redemption nowadays.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's like a pretty good way to pass the time is the video games.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I've been playing Wreckfest a lot, which I really love that game. It is Destruction Derby, But now the PlayStation 5, I want, is it going to be backwards compatible where you can play the PlayStation 1,
Okay, they said at this press conference that it was going to be compatible with the top 100 PS4 games. And then people got confused by that a little bit. What that meant was for their boost mode. But what they're going to have is they're going to be compatible with over 4,000 PS4 titles, but they didn't say anything about 1, 2, and 3. So nobody knows yet. It's like they
And
actually said.
all this stuff that we're experiencing now, they may put it off
Yeah,
because, yeah, I mean, even if this stuff gets cleared up, just say, and I'll try to think positively. If we can get it cleared out by August, I mean, I really do. I think it's going to be a while. It's going to, take a while for all this stuff, to settle. But and even if it does get cleared out, even by July, the economy is not going to be back up to speed yet, where people are going to rush out and buy a Xbox, or I mean, yeah, an Xbox, whatever,
yeah.
Scorpio or something. I don't pay that much attention to Microsoft, um, but in the PlayStation 5, people aren't going for the money. I don't think so. They might possibly put them off. I wouldn't be a bit surprised, but
Yeah.
I'm like one of these conspiracy people, and well, this is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if they do put it off, I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Yeah. I mean, are people going to be able to afford it? And is it reasonable to try to still get it out this year? So,
Yeah, I mean, they've been pretty quiet on the PlayStation 5, and I mean, but I haven't really, paid too much attention to it. But I, I mean, I had decided that if it's backwards, especially if it would, I mean, I would love if I got the PlayStation 1 game that I would just love to play. Road Rash. Remember the one with me, you, and Randy? We all
oh
used to
yeah,
Tecmo World Golf.
yeah,
We would sit up to like 5 or 6 in the morning playing that stupid game all night long just because it had 101 courses on it and
oh
stuff.
yeah, that was good stuff.
Oh yeah, that
I
was a
think a
lot.
lot of that would still hold up.
What's that?
I think a lot of that would still hold up, and it would probably look pretty good on a new TV and all that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and of course, my all-time favorite, Resident Evil, the very first one. Remember I went up, I think it was Geyer TV, and I rented a PlayStation. Well, I was gonna say PlayStation 4, PlayStation,
Yeah,
and
the original.
rented that game, and we were, oh man, that game. I dreamt about those damn hunters for I don't know how, and I would picture, I would have dreams. Remember how they made that clicking noise when they would walk and then they
Yeah,
squeal? And I would dream, that them, them stupid things were walking down the halls there at River Glen. So
yeah.
that
That
was a
was yeah, that was like a game of its time. That was good stuff.
oh, and the one thing I don't like about the newly remastered, the one where they did it for the PlayStation 4, is they did the voiceover. They took it from the Nintendo. I wanted, you know, Chris was our old partner,
Yeah,
the old Marion,
you're
and
almost
remember
a
that, and
jiggle
I still
sandwich.
got that. I remember I found that on Kazaa or something like that, and I played it for you, and we were laughing so hard we had tears coming.
Oh yeah.
Resident Evil, what they call it, the Resident Evil porno or whatever it was.
I wonder if I can still find that. Maybe I'll have to put
I
that in the
have it. If you
comments or
don't
something.
have it, let me know. I'll send it to you. It's small enough file. I can send it to you. Um, but that
Now,
is
now if
hilarious.
you type that in, you'd probably get different search results.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so. But I mean, that was hilarious. I mean, but you have to be a Resident Evil original, Resident Evil 1 fan to really get the gist of all that. I mean, it's funnier than heck. I mean, whoever put that together, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
When you were talking about audiobooks earlier, which ones are you listening to right now? What kind of topics?
um, right now it's a post-apocalyptic one. It's called the Disruptions
Oh
series.
no. Who's that by?
Yeah, you asked me too quick. I don't know. Um, I but if you type in the Disruption series, it's funny because it takes place. It starts out April the 1st, 2020, and whoever wrote this book knew that, Wednesday, I think, is it Wednesday is April 1st? Yeah, Wednesday is April 1st. And that's, they did it exactly. It was Wilmington, North Carolina, Wednesday, April 1st, 2020. But this isn't about a pandemic. It's about the northern lights, the sunspots and all that. And
Yeah.
it came and took all the power out. It's a 3-book set. It is very long. But it's got its moments. It's really good. And then there's some parts where it's kind of, can we please just hurry up and get past this and let's get back to the good stuff or whatever. But that's the only book I'm reading. Well, I'm reading. Okay, now do not take this the wrong way, but there's another one I'm reading on Kindle, and it's called The Backdoor
The Backdoor what?
Man. The Backdoor Man.
Oh, okay.
So, and that is the honest, that is the name of it. And it's about this guy. I haven't really gotten into it too much. When I was in North Carolina, we read a lot of the Disruption series, and then she found this other pandemic book that she wanted to read, and so we read that one. And but the disruption, or not but the Backdoor Man is, and I haven't quite figured out exactly what's going on, but because I'm not that far into it. But I mean, it's pretty good. It sounds more kind of like he realized his bank account was being robbed, and everybody's bank account started getting robbed and stuff like that. It's kind of like a cyber attack, probably, or something. Probably what it's going to wind up being.
My
But
typical go-to, I do audiobooks too, because when I was driving to work, I used to have to drive an hour and a half every single day. And I would listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I would do Stephen King typically.
oh, yeah. Do you do Audible?
No, I just went to our local library and I would get the discs and play them in the CD player.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
What did you
That's
read
the
The
free way
Stand
of doing
yet?
it. What's that?
Did you read The Stand yet?
I didn't do the audiobook version of that. I was reading some of the newer stuff like from 2010 on.
What was that one book that everybody has read? Now you do know that there's a sequel to The Shining.
Yeah, they made a movie about it.
Yeah, Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
And speaking of movies, there's this one movie. It's called Killer Sofa.
Oh, I was talking to you and you told me about that actually.
Yeah, and
I've not looked into that.
I I drove poor Peg nuts because there was this movie my cousin Tammy told me about called Attack of the Killer Donuts. And you of all people know me and know that I like these weird, a lot of people call them Ed movies, because they're so,
You turned me on to the stuff and I like the stuff. I
yeah.
watch I watch that every once in a while.
Oh yeah. And that is such, are you eating it or is it eating you? And that one I like, but Attack of the Killer Donuts, it's like, okay, because I watched Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and stuff like that. Like, okay, I gotta watch Attack of the Killer Donuts, and so I finally watched it, and I put it right up there with Oversexed Rug Suckers from Mars.
So which one you like better, the sofa or the donut?
I haven't watched the Sofa one yet.
Oh, okay.
I gotta be in a mood to watch movies like that, and since we're kind of at homebound now, I will probably get brave and watch it. And so,
okay, Attack of the Killer Donuts. A chemical accident turns ordinary donuts into bloodthirsty killers. Now it's up to Johnny, Michelle, and Howard to save their sleepy town from killer donuts.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they actually have cops. They're in a donut shop and they, end up fighting the killer donuts. So how they always say, cops and donut shops and stuff like that. But
yeah. Let's see what the rating is on this one. Okay, it got a 3.7 out of 10, but I don't usually agree with critics, so that probably that
What?
won't deter me.
Which movie is this?
The Killer Donut one.
Oh, I mean, I
That's
liked it.
that's on IMDb.
Yep, it is. And if you have a Fire Stick?
I don't. I do, but I don't have it all bootlegged or anything like that.
Well, I don't really have. I mean, there's a lot to watch on Prime, and there's a lot to watch on that I am whatever, because I watch stuff on that too. IMDb,
Oh,
you know.
that's the just the listings website.
Yeah, I mean, I never, and I'll be honest with you, I never go by ratings because uh, my taste in movies is so different than what a lot of people's are. And I mean, if it sounds like it's even somewhat interesting, I'll watch it. And if within the first, half hour, 45 minutes, if it doesn't really catch my eye or interest, then I'll just stop it. And I figure if I can watch a movie for 45 minutes, and if it's really that bad, the rest of it isn't going to be that good either. But
Yeah,
the killer.
I had that same effect with the movie Venom. That got really bad critical reviews, but I ended up loving it.
Oh yeah, yep. And they're Venom and see. Well, and the one I think that you and I were both really kind of disappointed in was the movie that we were dying to see, and when it came out, we were so excited, and it wound up being kind of a disappointment, and that was Freddy versus Jason.
Now, there's some stuff that I like in that, like when he turns into the worm, and
Oh yeah,
when Jason is killing the guy drinking the Everclear in the cornfield,
yeah.
like there's some funny, good stuff in it. I would say I was more disappointed by the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Oh, I agree with you on that one, and they're doing another one, right?
I keep seeing things about maybe doing a series, but I haven't seen anything that's for real though.
Well, Kevin Bacon is rumored to be playing Freddy.
Okay, let's do a simple search here and see what we got on this news.
Yeah.
Robert Englund wants Kevin Bacon as Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, I saw him do an interview on YouTube, and he was saying that he really wanted Kevin Bacon. I mean, he did do a good job in Hollow Man. That was really a good movie.
That's kind of an old one at this point.
What, Hollow Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's hard to believe it's old, but it is.
My Kevin Bacon is the Tremors Kevin Bacon.
Oh yeah, you can't beat Tremors, man. I mean all those. The last one was kind of so-so.
I think I probably saw to the point where they were having babies, and then I didn't see anyone after that.
What were the ones called where they shot ass blasters? Is that what they called them? The ones that
I don't think I saw that far into the Tremors series.
Well, I think it was like the might have been like the third one, maybe, that they brought in. They brought them in because they they would. Yeah, best way to put it is they would fart and they would blow fire out the butt and they could fly. So,
and they made a movie about that, huh?
Yeah, they sure did.
So I think anybody could get a license to make a movie at this point.
Well, I mean, and I think they're done. I think because he was in all the movies and he was in the series, and that was Michael Gross. He played.
Oh yeah, the neighbor guy with the RV.
Yeah, he was a military freak.
Yeah.
Where he really, loved his machine guns and stuff like that. Yeah, Bert, I can't remember what his last name is, but Bert, they always called him Bert. But I think the best one is the first one, as far as Trimmer. But like the Final Destinations, I wish they would make another one, because to me, as they, the more they made, the better they got. I love it.
I don't know if I share that same sentiment. That like the thing that is going to kill you in a horror movie is just like everyday objects, like a set of weights will fall on you, or a fan from a car or something like that.
Well, I mean,
That seemed a little far fetched.
well, I like the one where the guy was doing those weights and he was really getting into it, and all of a sudden they came down and poof, imploded his head or whatever. That was pretty.
Yeah, or what? Somebody in the tanning bed, was that in that?
Oh, yeah, that was in part 3.
Yeah, I think I've seen all of them, but I just rolled my eyes at every single one of the death scenes.
I mean, let's put it this way: if you're gonna watch uh, part 1, don't fly on a plane. If you're gonna watch part 2, don't
Don't
go
go
on a
behind a log truck.
yeah, just avoid the road trip.
I
Part
know. I'm still one of those people that look at those when you're driving down the road. It's like, oh man, don't get behind the log truck.
Don't go to a roller coaster. Don't go to an amusement park to ride a roller coaster if you watch part 3, because that
Yeah.
one really freaked you out. Fourth one was the NASCAR.
Oh yeah.
And the fifth one was the bridge.
Okay, maybe I'm not giving these enough credit.
I mean,
I guess
really,
there is some pretty iconic stuff in those.
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I really like them, but they just have. I guess they decided they would stop. I mean, I'm really glad they stopped making stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because I saw the first, what was it, the first 7, and then they came out with Jigsaw, and
I saw that one recently.
I haven't seen Jigsaw yet.
Yeah, it's all right.
But like Paranormal Activity, there for a while they were coming out these movies around every October. First it was Saw, and then it was Paranormal Activity there. And the first one, have you ever seen those Paranormal Activities?
I saw probably the first couple.
Phew, that first one, I mean, that one was creepy.
Yeah.
But it was jump scares. I like the ring, the ring. That was, remember what I did to my daughter? You were there.
Okay, I don't remember. What was the deal?
Because you had come over and Elizabeth and I were there, and she wanted to watch The Ring because she goes, "I'm not scared." She was like 14, and so
was it with the phone?
And watched it, and I took my cell phone and I went up. I said, "I'll be right back," and I went upstairs and I called my home phone, and I yelled, "Elizabeth!" I said, "Elizabeth, could you get that?" "I'm not answering that." I said, "Oh, come on, answer it." And she finally picked it up, and I go, "In 15 or in
7 days.
Yeah, and the next thing I knew, I heard dial tone because she hung up.
Yeah.
Oh man!
I like those Japanese ghost movies. Those were always really good.
And they remade The Grudge. Did you know that?
I didn't see it yet, but I heard about it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I saw where they remade it, and there was another one that they were going to remake too, and I can't think of what it was. But I mean, I think The Grudge, though, to remake The Grudge, what is wrong with these people? Because The Grudge just came out. What was it? Well, I guess it is.
Was it like 12 years ago or something?
Well, it came out when let me see, The Grudge computer. When was the movie The Grudge released?
The film The Grudge, the movie, was released on January 3rd, 2020.
Oh, shoot. She gave the news. I can't fault her for that one. Have you ever told her she's fired?
No.
Computer, you're fired.
Oh, man.
Well, there she just said, "Oh, man," but another one she'll say, "Great Scott, now I got to update my resume."
No, I know there's a lot of weird things you can tell her, but
yeah, she's a lot of fun.
Yeah, when you type in The Grudge, it just keeps coming up with the most recent one. Okay, 2004 was The Grudge, the American version.
Yeah, so it's been 16 years.
Yeah.
since I don't want to say the original because even that wasn't the original. The first one was actually Japanese.
Yeah, the Ju-on movie,
Ju-on, yeah.
and that was late '90s.
Yeah, and then they remade, they called it The Grudge, and it had that Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy, the Vampire Slayer in it.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that.
Oh, what, Buffy or The Grudge?
Both.
Yeah, I know. And I actually didn't mind Angel either, but it didn't quite catch me as much as Buffy did. Buffy was, I think, a little bit, well, she was hot for one thing, but
Yeah,
you know, uh it just seemed like Angel was kind of, I don't know,
yeah,
but I
I get
still
you.
watched it, and it was okay. But I still like Buffy better. So what are you watching these days? Besides, I know, well, and now I've kind of fallen short on The Walking Dead because I was on vacation and I
Yeah, me
haven't been.
too. I my wife kind of got off of that when the Whisperers came around, and then we just stopped watching it together. So I haven't seen really much of this season at all.
Now I admit, man, because I thought, well, after Rick died, it was really gonna, really stink. But man, when they brought them whispers on and they were out there in them like the foggy night, you could hear. Oh man, that was creepy. That was some
Yeah, when
genuine.
they first debuted them, that was pretty creepy. When they
Yeah,
when they killed Jesus.
yeah. I mean that was just and last year was the actual first Walking Dead that I had ever seen where they had snow.
Okay.
And I know it sounds kind of weird, I know, but because you always often wonder how they survived. Because like every season, they were always where it was, while they were in Georgia, but it could still snow in Georgia, but they
Yeah.
never showed it snow until last year, and that's when they had that big. My favorite character on that is Negan. I really like him,
Yeah.
and I like him better than shoot, what's his name, Daryl. I mean, maybe I like Negan because he's a smart mouth, something like that. I don't know. I just really like him.
Yeah.
So
It seems like lately we start watching a lot of stuff and stop it. Like we were watching a little bit of Better Call Saul, but that was getting a little boring. Um,
did you ever watch in that TV show? They got it on. You got Netflix, right?
yeah.
It's called In the Dark.
Now what's that?
Um, Believe it or not, it's about a blind lady, and she finds a dead body, and nobody believes her. So she tries to, see what she can do to solve the case. It's only 13 episodes, so I mean, it's a good show. But the reason I brought that up is because Ruth's guide dog. We were watching it, and she has a guide dog named Pretzel. And Ruth's
Oh,
dog
okay.
saw that. It just sat there and kept. I did a video of it and put it up on Facebook. It was funny, but her dog Wyatt was just sitting there barking at Pretzel on TV, and then Wyatt would run behind me and stick his head back out and start barking some more. I mean, it was hilarious. That was really funny.
I
But
you know I wonder if my wife would like this because actually one of her favorite YouTubers that she watches is a blind lady that does YouTube.
what's her name?
I Joy Ross. Like she just holds the camera out and does her thing, but she had vision at one point in time and then lost it.
Well, see, that's the way the woman was in the dark. She I think she had vision as a younger, and then I think she was in an accident you ought to watch that, Sarah, because I think you would probably like it. I don't know. I mean, I didn't mind it. I mean, it's not one I'd want to repeat. I wouldn't want to watch, but it does have some really good twists, and it's I'm surprised that blind people didn't really complain about that because they portray her as being a lush.
Oh, okay. I'll have to try her out on it and see if it does it for her.
Yeah, I mean, she'll like, go through the buffet and she'll run her fingers through all the food and pick it up and stick it in her mouth. She was a smoker. She was a drinker. She was a sex fiend. You know, she took a different guy home every night there for a while. I mean, it's one that I don't know if I would allow the kids to watch, but
Yeah.
but Sarah might.
We got to have a little bit of after hours movie watching time too. So
Yeah.
I know the wife is kind of hinting that I should probably get off here sometime soon.
Oh, so you want go watch In the Dark.
Okay, well I got it up on the Netflix here. I'm gonna save it and maybe check it out.
Yeah, I mean it's really not a bad show. They also got a documentary on there, but it depends. I don't know how you or Sarah feel about it, but there's a documentary up there. It's about what happened during the pandemic. So I don't know if you really want to watch that or not, but it's there. But yeah, Dark.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I'll have to check it out. I mean, we don't really have anything that we're super hot on right now, so we're kind of flipping through things.
Yeah, well, I mean, since you're kind of stuck indoors, maybe watch an episode. Now, I will tell you, if you watch, at least watch 3 or 4 episodes. The first 2 are kind of, but after a while, it really picks up, and it does get pretty good.
Yeah, you got to establish characters at first and stuff like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah, but I think you would. I don't. You might. I mean, there's no zombies in it though, so. But, so maybe Sarah might like it more than you. I assume that woman that Sarah watches on YouTube probably uses the iPhone, and you can hear the voiceover, as it talks to her and stuff.
Yeah, so, she's pretty good with all the assistance stuff.
From what I've seen. I mean, it's always. I mean, the Fire TV stick. You can even use voiceover on. A lot of blind people will use the Fire Stick, or Apple.
Yeah.
That so because they got voiceover. So all right, man. Well, this has been fun.
Do you have any Jerry Springer style closing comments like? Maybe not quite Jerry Springer, but you know how after this show he'd always do some closing comments.
Oh well, okay. Well, and I'll be serious about this. Is that now my brother is sending me stuff over Facebook Messenger. Give the adult a new toy and they got to play. My brother Mike. The only thing I really want to say is, whether you want to take it serious or not, but take what we're going through now, take it seriously, but don't get obsessed, and just if you really want to watch stuff about it, watch, do it in small doses. Don't sit there and watch it all day, or you're gonna see what happens when you watch. No, I'm kidding. You'll pull your hair out, and you'll get, depressed. So just, do it in small spurt, small doses, stay inside like you're supposed to, only get out when you have to, and don't believe everything you hear unless it's coming from a reliable news source. Don't believe, like I said earlier about heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another, this picture, don't believe that kind of garbage. If you really want to find out, watch a reliable news source or your government. And stay inside and don't spread the crap around. I want to get back outside, daggone it. So come on, people.
Yeah. Well, those are some good words to live by, and I thank you for hanging out with me for an hour and a half here.
We'll have to do this again, man.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. So I'm all good. It's all good.
Maybe next time we'll have less to talk about with the coronavirus and just fun stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm all for talking about AEW. I mean, and all that, because I do love AEW, and I do like it better than WWE. So if you want to tell McMahon I said that, go ahead, and he'll just say you're fine. So
All right. All right.
all
Well,
right,
I'll let you
man,
go.
but you take it easy, and this was a lot of fun, and you and your family stay safe, and I hope you have plenty of toilet paper.
Yep.
That's
We
a good.
will.
All right.
All right. Good talking to you.
All right. Good talking to you.